the President of AIMA, Secretary General of AIMA, my friend Mrs. Rekha Sethi, Mr. Maitri, Mr. Agarwal, and all my distinguished friends. It's really an honor for me to be present here and also to present each one of you a well-earned qualification, a degree, a certificate, a diploma, for having done a lot of application of mind, and that has resulted in you receiving these honors today. So let me congratulate you, not just for getting this final outcome of your efforts, but I will also congratulate you for choosing the right institution where you wanted to do this course. There are many management associations, management institutions who offer management education program in the country. But many times we have seen there's a lot of disconnect between what is taught inside the campus and what is really happening in the real-time world. And that creates such disconnect, creates such issues. For example, when we are growing up, our parents always tell us, always speak truth. And a child goes out and teacher asks us, did you study last night? Say, no, I didn't study. So he gets a whacking, he gets a punishment. Your parents tell you that always not just be truthful, not just be honest, but almost admit your mistakes. So you go in real life, you go and admit mistake, you are punished more than next one who has actually done the more severe offense, but he's just got scot-free because he never admitted it. So this kind of disconnect that happens in terms of we getting sanskar, which is also a form of education at home, and a real life outside, is understandable. Because your parents want you to follow a truthful path, be a better citizen, but be a better human being. Whether you are successful or not is a different thing. How do you define success? Success cannot be decided by others. So when you accept that people are saying you are good, if that's a yardstick of success, that means you are judged by others about what you are. But when you are truthful, you are doing something on your own, and you believe in something and you therefore you follow that difficult path, then you are actually judged by your own self. And that judgment is far more important than what others judging you. But that's a different matter. I was saying in different context when I said that what is happening inside the campus and what is happening outside the world, real world. Many educational institutions offer courses and you learn a lot academically. And when you go out and start putting that knowledge into being tested in real life situation, then you find it completely different. Because those who are teaching you are not necessarily the ones who are also working outside in the real management world. Unlike that, AIMA is a very different institution. It has many management associations at grassroots as members. There are many industry leaders who are their members. Many top corporates are the members of AIMA. And therefore, AIMA is a very distinct institution which understands what management means, not just by learning in books, but something they have learned by actually managing the businesses, managing complex issues. And therefore, when you are joined this institution to conduct, or rather to learn, I think that was the right choice. So therefore, I must congratulate you for two things. One, for getting this, what you got today. And more importantly, when you started doing something, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, or some of the PhD students many years ago, and now you have achieved these excellent results. So congratulations to all. So firstly, congratulations to all the PhD students who are now can legitimately be called as doctors. So now, normally when do you go to a doctor? You go to a doctor when you fall ill. And therefore you go and get a medicine. and probably after some time you get cured. But these PhD scholars now will have to cure the ills of society, which is far more difficult, far more complex, far more challenging. But I'm sure I was talking to each one of them when what is the subject, and I realized that the commitment and their happiness that is growing on their face rightfully for having accomplished a very well-earned task, but also getting this PhD program degree, is that they will definitely be able to, I'm sure, be able to address the challenges of society at large. But I was very impressed by the diversity of the subject that you have studied. And I was telling Agarwal Sahab as well as my AIMA friends, I'm very impressed by such different fields in which they did their PhD programs. Some spent longer time, obviously only to make sure that when they finally make the dissertation, the thesis is something which is absolutely of top class. So I'm very happy and congratulations to all of you. So I'm sure you will definitely be the doctors to cure the society's ills. And therefore this doctorate is, hopefully, is a precursor to society becoming much better than what it is today. I'm also happy that there are management graduates, there are people who have studied short-term courses, relatively short-term, in many specialized areas. Public procurement is a very, very difficult and challenging issue. If you don't procure, how will you run the organization? But many times you have seen that in public procurement, there are many flaws. And we feel that a government department pays for public procurement, which is true in a sense because the public procurement payments, the entire transaction is handled by a particular department. But a price is paid by the people. Because where does a public procurement paid for? It is paid from the taxes. So therefore, if it is not handled properly, eventually the burden of that falls on common people. Why I am saying common people? Because there are two types of taxes which are collected, which augments the revenues of the government. One is the direct tax, and what one is called as indirect tax. Direct tax is what the income tax that is paid. So you pay from your income. Either you are a corporate, you pay from your income, you are individual, you pay from income, or even AOP, Association of Persons, different organizations, HUF, they are all different organizations, different kinds of organizations who pay income tax. But their individual number is very, very small. But that means, do you mean to say that those who don't pay income tax don't pay tax at all? That's what is normal presumption. It's very far from true. Every person in India pays tax. How? Everybody pays GST. Now GST is paid on almost everything. Whether you're buying your food items, clothes, some items are exempt, but most of the items are covered. Most of the services are covered. So every person, irrespective of his income, is paying tax. So if public procurement is not handled properly, the burden of that goes on to the right down to the poorest of the person in the country who is paying some tax. And sometimes indirect taxes are paid disproportionate to the income of the person. For example, the richest man in India will pay the same amount of tax on a particular goods or a service, say a pair of shoes, shirts, same amount. But when you are buying a pair of shirts, the richest man is paying 100 rupees GST and a poor man is paying also GST 100 rupees, you can understand the disproportionate burden that he carries because his income is not as high as that. So therefore, public procurement is a very important issue, and I'm glad that AIMA is conducting programs on this. Luckily, our Prime Minister started a very interesting program called GEM. I was handling that as Minister of Commerce and Industry, where the government procurement now is handled in a very transparent manner through a process in which a portal, you can actually, governments must buy from it. I remember way back, in more than 20 years ago, almost, 2002, 22 years ago, 20 years ago. When I was a power minister, I had seen something very interesting. There are now, of course, states are a little more, but say 28, 29 states in India and some other union territories, 6, 7. So as a power minister, power is handled at state level, most of it. Particularly distribution networks are almost owned by all the states. And there, you have to buy distribution transformers, you have to buy cables, you have to buy poles, you have to buy batteries, many things. And because there was no standardization, we found that one state will buy a particular product for say 5 lakhs, other state will buy it for 7 lakhs. So I asked the Central Electricity Authority, I said, why don't you come out with technical standards to make sure that at least nobody can say that I'm paying higher price because I'm buying a better product. If there are specifications, technical specifications, then you will not be able to fool around by saying something like this. So we actually started doing that. But point is the public procurement program and those who have done it, you'll have a very important task on your hand because public procurement is necessary. At the same time, how do you actually make sure that we pay the right price, right quality, and save the money of the country? So these are programs which you may think are not important. I would say they are the most important ones. They may be short duration courses, but I'm sure because of AIMA and the faculty and the kind of ecosystems AIMA has been able to develop around their education programs, you would have a lot of value addition in this subject. So I'm very happy about it. Also some IT, which I think we have the largest number of people working in that field. And now I think everything is going to be finally, every activity, everything virtually is going to be decided by the technology. Our lives are driven by that. In fact, nowadays, you can order anything and everything. While sitting here, it will be ordered and before you reach home, it will be there. So I was just reading yesterday, there is a very interesting thing. In Paris, in France, yesterday, the federal government had decided to ban what they called as dark stores. So what is a dark store? That when they keep supplying on e-commerce basis some of the material, some of the goods that people order, the residents felt it is causing so much of disturbance at night. Because there are shops down below their apartments which makes noise because it is done all throughout the day and night. And the scooters on which you get delivered, they make noise. That's what they're feeling. So they said, we want to stop it because as the minister who finally announced this decision of the government said that why you cannot wait for a small little, say, toothpaste. Why do you need it at 11 o'clock at night? You can wait till 7 in the morning and then can go and get it. Or why you want a pizza at midnight? You can wait for it as we are waiting for so many years without it. Why should you call it disturbance? But that's the other side of it. But what it means is that even in the most advanced countries or one of the not so advanced countries, technology is now pervading everybody's life. And that happens mainly. The platforms may be different, applications will definitely vary, but information technology is the one which is causing the huge intrusion into our lives, good for and bad for bad. As I just told you what the experience of French people were, that's the last night, what they decided. But information technology, and all of you are graduating in that field, so I'm very sure we have a very big task on it because this is a vast area. It is like entering and looking at sky and say which part of sky I want to capture. You can capture any part of your sky. It's all yours. So that's what ultimately the whole world is now going to be open for anybody to grab as you go along because everything is changing. As I said, almost nothing will be same as we thought when we saw it maybe 10, 30 years ago. And that's the beauty as well as the challenge of when you will be actually now applying your knowledge to real lives. Many of you are already, maybe 30, 40%, I was asking my dear friend, the Director General, she said almost 65% of you are already in employment. Maybe 35% of you are the ones who are just fresh and trying to join for the first time, not work. So those who are working will see that maybe some of you must have worked there for 10 years, 15 years. You will see now very dramatic changes that will happen in your own organization. Some fun, almost forced upon those organizations. You will have no choice. Because if your competitor is having developed a business model which is so different than your own, you have only one choice: fold up or try to change yourself. Now this is bound to happen all the time. So competition will change, competition will make you change, technology will make you change, market forces will make you change, geopolitics, which will make you change. Who had thought? I was talking to someone who is still here, he's a secretary of the Gas Association, and he's also MTech and done remarkable work, and we were discussing that. Who could have imagined the gas price will shoot up like this? Yesterday, or 2 days ago, the new Prime Minister of UK, a lady, now the ladies are dominating everywhere, good thing. So she said, I am going to cap the gas and electricity prices. A country like UK, European country, where price cap was something which was always frowned upon, and they are discussing that because it's not possible. People cannot afford to get it. The cost of living has gone up considerably. So people's income remains same, and your expenditure goes beyond your capabilities, then how can you live life? And that's why they had to cap it. But point is, like, why it has happened suddenly? It is not something because of any other reason, but geopolitics. What happened in Ukraine affected Europe, and Nord Stream, which they were getting gas from UK to Germany, from Russia to Germany, that is now stopped for the last few days and indefinitely. And now the winter is coming. And in fact, this is a double whammy. The summer of Europe was the harshest ever. The recorded temperature in Europe are highest ever recorded in history. So the demand was high, and I hope the winter will not be as severe. And that's the result of climate change. That climates will vary so much, and the severity will be enormous, that it will be difficult to deal with it. So now, the geopolitics will also change the businesses. And therefore, you all will look at your own company, you will not recognize it after a few years. Oh, it has changed so much. And now, you are well equipped with this knowledge that you acquired in this course, that probably you will be able to deal with this organizational changes, the business environment that is changing around you, to deal with that in a much better way, if you are not qualified. So I must congratulate those who are already in service, decided to take a break and do these mid-career courses. So I am congratulating you all. I think this is a very interesting time in the world. The monopolies are crumbling, monopolies of a different kind, that now idea is capital. Earlier, you wanted, how do you start business? There was a time, particularly in India, post-independence, you needed a license to start a business. So the power of business was who holds the license. Then, over a period of time, the capital-intensive industries we had to put up, so one who had the money had the strongest chance of succeeding. And now, in today's world, or even tomorrow's world even more, the power of success will depend upon, the possibility of success will depend upon the knowledge or the idea you have got. So idea is the future capital of the world. No longer technology, or not necessarily the regulatory support that you get. That's not going to be actually driving you. So that's no longer is going to give you the tailwind, but probably the headwind. If you don't have the idea, you will, with all this, more capital you have and you have no idea, then the capital will disappear in no time. And therefore, idea is the future capital, and you are graduating at a time with that capital with you. I am sure you will use it more effectively. And one good part about idea as a capital is that other capital can get shrinking. There's a depreciation. You invest in assets get depreciated over a period of time. The value of money goes down because the inflation reduces the cost by ability of you to buy with the same money the goods or services. But ideas can multiply. So there is no limitation on the idea. They don't get depreciated. Of course, this is up to you. You can depreciate your own idea by not using it at the right time. But if you start using it, you will get multiplied, you will get better, and I'm sure AIMA has allowed you to think differently, and will make sure that these ideas that you have and the potential of that you are realized through this course you'll be able to apply and actually make a much better career from those ideas. So let me congratulate you. I am very happy, as I said, I'm very honored to have given such honors to so many people who are so competent and so far better than me. So the only reason why I can do this is because I'm a friend of Mrs. Sethi and AIMA, that I could perform this task. So I want to thank you, congratulate each one of you, offer you my best wishes, and I'm sure when some other time, I'm sure you'll be part of AIMA, because some of you will be running businesses and you'll come here as members of AIMA. Some of you will come here as faculty of AIMA and start teaching same thing that you have learned or better now with your experience that you'll gather. Or some of you will run such big businesses that AIMA will invite you and say, please share your knowledge to a larger audience. So I'm sure the beginning of your relationship with AIMA is now with a different role that you will play in your own lives. So all the best to you. Once again, congratulations. Thank you.